So a man with no name donates $7. You know the name. They say, greetings, Tip Top Tom and Ballbag Ben.
Ooh.
Would you rather live in Warhammer Fantasy or Warhammer 40k? You can only be a human race, though. No Xenos allowed. Chop me up, lads. I'm ready for good old Crumpin. Kremlo and Chromelo came together.
Ah, that's what you do. If you can pick who you are, but you have to be human, you be the Norse tribe that Kremlo saves. Then you get to meet Kremlo and live under his rule.
Oh my god, you get to be there when they rescue him, right? Oh, that's
You get to grow up with Kremlo in the city, in Skeggy.
Oh.
You get to live on the beach by
Lovely.
a tropical climate.
This sounds pretty good. That's a pretty good choice.
You're not going to get attacked by marauding orcs or beastmen.
No, but you do have Bad Slan that Kremlo leads you to victory against them.
And you win. And then I've never heard anything happen to them ever since. So I'm sure it's fine.
But you do have to deal with that sad moment where Kremlo is like, I'm sorry, my brothers, but I must return to space.
My home planet needs me.
My home planet needs me. And everyone's sad.
But it's better to have loved and lost a Kremlo than to have never Kremlo'd at all.
That's true. That's a really good shout. That's a great spot to be.
Because I feel like you miss out on 90% of the awfulness of the Warhammer world by just piecing out of the old world into the new world. And sounds great.
That does seem pretty relaxing. Probably the better choice.
Yeah, unless you want to live on Eroticon 9, the Warhammer Pleasure Planet.
Yeah, I think being someone who's fairly high up. I don't want to be in charge of Eroticon 9. That feels like a lot of work and probably some backstabbing. But if I can be the foppish seventh son of some high-up noble, so I'm kind of set, and nothing's expected.
It feels like a honey trap. I feel like I'm guaranteed to get seduced into a chaos cult without realizing it. And then I'm going to get purged.
Well,
pretty good way to go,
you get to get into that kind of sexy cult for a bit. That sounds pretty cool.
That's true. And you probably get to go through a few rejuvenate treatments over the years before you get purged.
Oh, yeah.
You probably get to live for 150 years before you get found out for being a corrupt, foppish, decadent noble.
From somewhere. Donates $3. From somewhere. They say, Tom and Ben, I heard a fun idea for the Total War Warhammer 3 Legendary Lord.
Oh, yeah.
100 should be Nagash, with a last-minute reveal of coming alongside Thanquol to spoil his fun. Thoughts? I would love that.
I would absolutely love that. I would love a big global campaign to stop Nagash, and he's a real killer. That sounds great. It's weird they haven't done it yet.
Yeah. I think I'm more excited for Thanquol turning up. I'd like a big Skaven thing.
I've no idea what mechanics would you do for him?
I don't know.
Because he can't just be... He's a Skaven who's a wizard and has a fight man with him. Do you know what I mean? You've got to come up with some cool... Ikit's got his workshop and his nukes, and Throt has his, beast factory.
If there was something cool involving the Council of the 13, but I don't want just a drag and drop pictures onto a circle with the horned rat at the top. That sounds lame.
If you could have some kind of... I can imagine so many shit versions of this.
Yeah.
Some kind of things where you've got all these different lords that are treacherous against you, and you've got to keep setting them against each other and giving them, rewarding them and punishing them to Game of Thrones them around to stop them overthrowing you.
Isn't there an army that already has that mechanic? Oh, well, it's just Skaven that already have that.
They do, but
it's
like a really obvious bar, and all you have to do is occasionally win a battle to keep them happy.
Just do a little bit of juggling.
Yeah, I feel it's sort of more involved, but I can't imagine a way that isn't just like the Empire's elect account mechanic.
Yeah, I just don't want micromanaging busy work.
Yeah.
Which is what it feels like it would be.
It's true. Yeah, I don't know how to do it in a fun way. But some kind of Game of Thrones thing. I mean, he's got like a crippling warpstone addiction, right? Can you do something fun with that?
Well, Ben, there's 7 territories on the map that each have warpstone, and you have to get those. And if you don't have enough, you get a debuff. Is that what you want?
No. Boring.
Yeah.
What else do we know about him? I don't know. I just like him. He's like a sort of Saturday morning cartoon villain.
Yeah, he's got
You know?
that vibe.
I don't know how you make that happen in game. Clannish mechanics. I don't remember loving them. You have to keep sending your guys off on AFK quests.
Oh yeah.
And then when you build up enough point, you earn loyalty from every clan, and you lose loyalty from clans. And then when you get enough clan bucks, you can do a thing. And eventually you can save up for like big missions that like just blow up a whole city. Some of them are fun, but it's also quite a lot of little busy work. I don't know. The problem is Total War. It's really hard to implement a mechanic that isn't a battle or clicking through a menu, because that's really what this game is. It's menus and battles. How do you fit anything else into this?
Okay, right. Imagine this. What if, you're Thankor, and you're in Skavenblight, having just a good old time doing your thing.
Okay.
And you have a magic teleportarium, which lets you zoom out armies all over the world.
Okay.
But you start out immediately kind of like allied with every major Skaven faction. You're allied with Throt. You're allied with, Ikit Claw, with Queek Head Takers, people like that. So you can see what they're up to.
Okay.
And you're like doing something where you're trying to make it so they are all doing well at the same time. So you can teleport an army over, help them out. You can give them money, send them resources. But if you ever give one too much help or too much work, then they will rebel and leave you and super bad. And so you're trying to juggle all of these other leaders, getting them doing stuff without actually just having those 4 different empires.
I like the idea that you don't have a lot of armies because you've only got a small amount of territory and a small amount of income. But like you say, you can send help to people, and then when those people fight, you have like an allied force that comes in and tries
to, you're trying to do that, and you're recruiting from the different factions. But if you recruit too much from one, well, that's giving their uppityness bar is filling up. So you're like, okay, right, actually, I need to do a thing where we need to knock those down a peg. I'm not going to help. Like something like that. And if you can get to this critical mass where each of them are,
you're making them all work together and towards one goal,
and you're like juggling a bar. Like if the bar gets if they ever get too powerful or whatever, then they rebel super bad.
Okay.
But you have to get them all up into a certain threshold, and the moment they're all powerful enough, then you can do the boom, they came from below, and you can trigger your
Vermintide
event.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, that sounds achievable and more fun than all the other things we've thought of, for sure.
And if he's got a bunch of, so you're doing some sneaky assassin diplomacy shit at the same time, and the whole time you're kind of in your home base. Maybe you're building pirate, the pirate settlements or the under empires around the world, but you're not actually taking a lot of territory. You just
I like that.
Skavenblight.
I love the idea of fighting in lots of different places of the map without having to send your armies out.
Yeah, without getting into a mega war. And it's more about come on guys, let's all make Skaven good together.
Yeah, like herding those cats.
But it's an absolute nightmare because they're all assholes, and it's just like a balancing act of make them powerful, but not too powerful.
Yeah, I like that.
Help them win, but not too much. And oh god, these guys are being attacked so much. Everyone's declaring war on them. It feels like you can fight a lot of places. Boom. That's my idea.
I love it. Okay, I can't wait for it to be much worse than that.
Also, lots of backstabbing. Oh yeah, they'll have generals and stuff that you will be sending and assassinating. I like the idea that you do have assassins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you are murdering your own boys. Like, you've got, like, your Warpstone ritual bar or whatever, which is, like, a bit like Crusader Kings, you know, assassinate someone, replace them, give someone a boost, throw a load of money at someone, things along those, like, or just give someone a free army that you don't get, but just...
Well, you get that a lot. There's the Empire have like random events that come up when they say this person's under attack. Do you want to spend this much money to send them an expeditionary force, or do you want to leave them to it and you lose or gain loyalty from them depending on what you do? But if you do send the expeditionary force, you control a disposable allied army in that battle.
Something like that, I think would be cool.
I think it's really fun because then you get to play in like a really different way and fight in different places and against different enemies.
There you go.
Perfect. You can have that one for free, CA.
Nice. But if you can make it a bit more like the demonic realms of chaos, because everyone loved that. Do that bit.
Blah, 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 blah. Gross. Stop it.
Sorry. Sorry, man.